Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the very first episode of the Summer
Lovin Podcast.
I didn't know if we were going to say it together.
It's fine. We can work on it. It's fine.
Yeah, so my name is Hassan.
And I'm Summer.
I'm the husband.
And I'm the wife.
And yeah, so this is our new podcast.
Yeah.
We're
very
in
excited.
New territory.
Yeah.
We're in a new environment.
Yeah.
We're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone.
Definitely.
But trying to do something fun and something that we think we'd enjoy.
Yeah.
Right?
We love to talk. Both
yeah.
of us, if anyone that knows us just knows that we both love to talk. So honestly, what better place than here?
So now
in the studio.
Yeah, so
dedicated time to talk.
And now they can listen to us.
Exactly.
So when you're with us, you can hear us talk. And then when we're not there, you can play us and we can still talk to you.
Perfect.
So honestly, you are in heaven, really. So yeah,
talk about the pod, what it's about, what we're going to be talking about. So I think basically what we're going to do is we're just going to keep you guys updated with what we're up to. So we've been married about a year and a half. A year and a half?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're in
Almost March. Yeah, just over a year and a half. Yeah.
5 more months, just over a year and a half.
Yeah, so kind of what we get up to, doing a lot of traveling at the moment. Just our life experience and just...
I think we want to obviously like share a lot about our experiences, but we also do want to hear from you guys. We want to hear your dilemmas. We want to hear your funny stories. We want to hear, I don't know, maybe if you guys even give us certain ideas that we can try and what we can do. There's going to be a lot. We want to cover dating, like traveling. We want to cover marriage, and also like, we're nearing the end of our 20s, which sounds horrible, but we're starting a new sort of, I don't know, era. And I think a lot of our friends are all starting that new decade, I guess. So we want to like discuss and talk about that side of life and just normal things, really. Yeah. Isn't it?
And anything that you guys want us to talk about. So if you've got any ideas or any crazy scenarios or any subjects you want our opinions on, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
And definitely, please subscribe to our YouTube, like us or follow us on Spotify, and
subscribe, like, you're gonna do
rate
it now.
us. You got it. No, yeah, definitely. So where they can all find us, because then obviously that's where they've got to send all of their thoughts, give us our feedback, let us know how we do it, like how we've done with our podcast. I mean, this is the first episode, so hopefully we get better as we go along.
Yeah, for sure.
So the first thing we're going to talk about today, we put it out on our Instagrams. We said, guys, we're going to do a podcast. What would you want to see from us? Now, a lot of people did want us to talk about our wedding. Mm-hmm. Now, basically, we're not going to talk about the wedding because we've actually been on a podcast where we have spoken about everything about our wedding. We spilled all the tea. We went into so much detail about all the vendors and everything that we've used. And the place you can find that is Vendors Table. One of my best friends, MC Midday, that's his podcast. We went on there, we spoke about it. So please, guys, if you want to see anything about our wedding, head over there, give it a watch. I think it was quite good, that episode. I mean, I think
we talked about everything. So I think,
we covered a lot.
If there's anything that we missed, we can definitely talk about it again. People
and
can ask us about
if you guys, like, I don't know, if you guys go over and watch it and you really like it, I think there are a few topics which I didn't get to cover because obviously we only had a certain amount of time. Maybe we get MC Midday on ours.
Yeah, and then we can talk about it again. We can
talk about wedding stuff again and we can talk about more. So, yeah, I would say we're not going to talk about it here because we want you to go over and give that a watch because I think that goes into a lot of detail, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. So then the other thing that everyone wanted us to talk about was married life, and how it is basically. Mm-hmm. And what our thoughts are on married life and what it's been like living together and how it's been like sort of getting to know each other even more, and our favourite things and stuff like that.
Well, actually, what we'll do is we'll first talk about... So when we first got married, we were going around and seeing family and friends and, you've on the come down from the wedding and everyone's asking you, like, how's married life? And I was literally going to people so excited, having the best time. Like it's lovely,
no,
it's great. And honestly, every time that we'd go to someone's house, it would be me and Hassan together. So I'd be, you know, like probably with the mums and the daughters and the friends, that all the girls like on one side, and then Hassan's with the dads and the bros and the whatever. They're talking about their stuff and I'm talking about mine. So I'm like, oh, it's great. And then there was one time we actually went over to your best friend's house, and he was there with his wife, who they'd also got married 2 weeks before us. So they were asking us like, how's married life? And actually for once he was in earshot of me, and I exactly the same answer as I always came out with, like, oh, it's great, like we're really enjoying it. We'd been to Milan like just recently before we'd seen them, and I heard Hassan go, yeah, it's all right. And I looked at him and I thought, have you seriously just said, I've said things are great, and you've literally just said, yeah, it's all right.
Do you know what's so funny?
The first time I've ever heard it, and I looked at him and I was thinking, and I actually said to him, I was like, is everything, like, what's going on? Because why did you say that? Why did you say that? Why am I saying everything's great and you're saying, oh, it's all right? Do
you know what the thing is? When this happened, I remember, like, I was in so much trouble afterwards.
The first thing I said when we got in the car was, why do you keep saying that to everyone?
But do you know what the thing is? It's not...
Are you not having a good time with me?
Oh, I'm having the best time. Trust me, I am. But do you know what it is? I feel like it's a done thing. Everyone just asks that question. Firstly, like, I don't. They do care. Obviously, they care, right? But what am I going to say? I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, it's rubbish, right? And then I also feel like if you're just saying, oh, it's amazing, it's this, that, the other, I feel like you're kind of overdoing it, and it sounds like you're maybe overcompensating. So it was just, I don't know, I always just found it as an awkward question, because in my head I'm thinking, like, what are you expecting me to say? Because I'm not going to say it's rubbish. But then, do you see what I mean? I don't know. But...
Well, anyway, so how is married life, Hassan?
Married life is amazing. It is the best thing in the world. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It is amazing. It's so good. Honestly, words cannot describe how good it is. Was that a good answer?
So sarcastic.
Blink twice if you're in danger.
I really hope one of those sentences was from the heart.
All of them were from the heart. Everything was from the heart. But anyway, what I would say is, what has it been like living with me? What would you say?
Okay,
what are the let's put it, what's the best thing and what is the worst thing?
I think the best thing is we're just together all the time.
Okay.
We're together all the time and it's great. Like a good day, a bad day, whatever it is, whatever's going on. Yeah, I think we work very well together.
Right.
I don't think there was ever a time when we were living together, like when we were newly married, and I was just like, oh God, what have I done? But, so I don't know. I don't think I have a favourite thing. I think the worst thing about living together is you just leave things everywhere. Socks, especially. Socks? Oh my God. I don't think there's been a day when I've not seen a sock on the end of the bed, at the bottom of the bed, underneath the bed, by the sofa, under the dining table. The socks just are everywhere.
Okay.
Hassan and the socks, basically. But I don't think that's a big... Don't think...
You can live with it.
There is livable. I think there could be worse things.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
What's your favourite thing? What's your worst thing?
My favourite thing and the worst thing. I know the worst thing, so we'll come to that. My favourite thing, I do think you're right. I didn't actually think about that, but you're right. The fact that we're just always together is amazing. I think that is something which is just brilliant. Because I also... So if, say, for example, Summer works from home for a week, when she goes back to the office, I'm telling you, it is so dead. It's just dead. Like, the whole day is just ruined because she's gone to the office. So I think definitely having your presence there with me all the time is something that I'm just like, is amazing. I agree with you on that. I also am really appreciative of your cooking. Your cooking slaps. In fact, it was so good. I got fat, right? I got fat like 8 months into our marriage. And also, you're just a very caring person in general, and the way you take care of me and you look after me, I love it. I love it. I'm very, very lucky, trust me. The worst thing by far is your lateness. I thought I was a late person.
You are a late
and
person.
then I met Summer, and she is so worse. Honestly, I don't even know how your friends have put up with your lateness over the years.
No, do you know what?
It's so
first of all,
bad.
my friends are really lovely.
And also...
lovely, sweet people.
Wait. 1 second. The thing is, right, your friends are amazing. I'll give you that. But the thing is, don't you dare bring up this psychological thing about that one time where you made it happen, and now I only revert back to the one time that I made it happen, because... darling, it's never gonna. You're never gonna make it happen again.
Okay, well, that's very pessimistic, and I don't appreciate the bad energy that's coming from that. So, okay, let me just explain this theory. So, basically, I actually heard about this on a podcast, and it was actually quite a long time ago. I think this is like 3-4 years ago. I've always been late. I've just always been a late person. I think one of my friends from uni actually said that she knows that there's time and then there's summertime. So which usually gives her a bit more time to get ready, or she knows I'll be running late or whatever. I usually almost always let people know when I'm running late, and it's genuinely something I'm trying to correct and grow out of. I think I'm late less minutes now than before, definitely. But I also think, wait, let me explain. Okay, so basically the theory is that people who are late tend to be more optimistic, and they're specifically more optimistic about time. So actually what someone who is late usually tends to do is they remember that one time where they managed to like wash their hair, straighten their hair, do their makeup and be ready and be in that place, that one place, be ready and leave on time and get there. And they were like right on time. The problem is you can never replicate that ever again. I can't remember when this exact instance was for me, but I do definitely think... The thing is, some days...
Are you sure you didn't dream about being on time?
No, because sometimes... My love. That was rude. Sometimes my it will dry in 5-10 minutes. Great. And then sometimes I'll be blasting it with a hairdryer for 25 minutes. Then I'm already 15 minutes late. And then you've got a problem because everything just snowballs from there. I'm trying to get better.
Do you know what? To be honest, it's not... I don't think it's
And luckily you rushed me along now.
Yeah, I think now I'm... I think I've got better at just sort of planning and sort of understanding that someone needs a certain amount of time to get ready. So I need to like really just... Or make sure she has the allotted time to get ready. And I think that is something that I've probably done to counteract it. But I don't know. Sometimes I sit there and I just laugh because I just think, yeah, because you walk, even like when you go to meet up with your friends, I don't think there's been a time when you've like not been panicking because you're running on time.
Actually, no, because I went for dinner with the girls earlier this week and I was on time.
Yeah, but you went straight from work.
And I was early.
You went straight from work, so then there was no way for you to be late unless there was a train delay.
No, because I could have been late. There's always a chance when I could be late, unfortunately. However, I was on time. I was thinking this actually when I got there because I thought, wow, I was the second one there out of 5. Yeah, I was on time.
No, to be honest, because I remember a time we went out with our friends when we went to Dim Tea.
Oh, yeah.
And you were on time then, but you came from work. So I feel like...
Maybe that's the key.
That's the key, guys.
If you want me to be on time.
If you want her to be on time, invite her somewhere after work because then she can't mess it up. Fair?
Yeah. I think good things come to those who wait, so...
The thing is...
It's fine.
Do you know what the best thing is?
Worth the wait, maybe?
Do you know what? No, always worth the wait. But I think the funniest thing is that no matter how much you speak to someone about trying to be on time, it won't change anything.
But I always try. I try.
Do you know what?
I think there's a difference between trying.
I don't have an expectation for you to be on time because you were late to our wedding. So it's all right. It's okay.
That day I really was running late, but that time it was not my fault.
But do you know what's really funny as well? I'll tell you something. There's going to be a lot of people who are watching this that know me, and they're going to be like, how are you talking when you are so late? Midday, right? When we go to the Arsenal games, I'm actually... The thing is, I don't know if he's going to agree with this, but I do think it's probably, I would say, 65% of the time I'm the late one, and then 35% of the time he's the late one. But I definitely know there's a lot of my friends who are going to be like, bro, how are you on smoke when you are always late with us? But I also would like to think that after marriage, I've been better. And I've grown.
You probably are better.
Because I'm organised, I've got responsibilities.
You got a wife?
No.
Yeah.
Marriage life is good. Now, speaking of lagging behind, FPL, shall we tell the people what is going on?
Go on, why don't you explain?
Right. So, for those of you who don't know, FPL is Fantasy Premier League. It's like a little game for football fans. And what you do is you go on there, you build your dream team, per se, and you select different players from different teams in the Premier League. And those, obviously, when these teams play in real life, if, say, for example, someone scores a goal, and you've got that player, then you get points. And the idea is you just got to accumulate the most points over the whole Premier League. So while the league's going on, every week there's games, and you get points, etc. So it's like a fantasy football. I think in America they call it fantasy football, but here it's FPL. So it's something I play with some of my friends. I'm a big football fan. I've got an Arsenal season ticket, so I go to all the Arsenal games. And I invited Summer to play FPL this year, and I gave her a challenge, and I said, if you can beat my score, I'll get you a really special treat. Now, it will be
my choice.
Of
and
your
actually,
choice.
You didn't invite. It was my birthday, so...
Was it your birthday?
Yes, it was my birthday.
It was your birthday present to play this game?
Maybe my present to you, because you
Maybe.
were very, very, very excited.
Okay.
And literally, when I tell you, we went for brunch and we've ordered literally as soon as the guy has taken our order and left, he's already got his phone out and he's asking for my phone so that he can download the FPL app onto my phone. He was just like, please download it, please, please, please. Anyway, one of my friends is really, really good at FPL. So she actually is in a league with her boyfriend and all of her boyfriend's friends, and she usually is like top of the league above all of the boys and does amazing. So based off of that, I thought, do you know what? I can probably have a go.
The thing is, what I said to Summer is because, I mean, Summer watches a little bit of football, obviously through being married to me, but I've seen people or like other creators online and stuff who play FPL do really well from just like following all of the statistics, and like there's different FPL pages and stuff you can follow.
There's people that tip off.
They give tips and they give little ideas, and they do really well, because I think even this whole concept came from a YouTuber that I watch, and he done it with his girlfriend, and he almost lost. I think it was about 5 points between them. So I thought it would be a fun challenge for us to do, which we have done, and I think we've had fun.
I think it's been a roller coaster, is how I would describe it. I mean, honestly, I don't know how people are doing it whilst even supporting their team, because I don't know, because I guess that kind of makes it more fun for you guys, because like you're really buzzing. But I feel like, honestly, when it comes to game weeks now, all I'm thinking about is points. Whereas I think like when you go to the matches, you go and like you really enjoy it. But I'm very competitive.
The thing is, it's
and
like
you're also very competitive,
fantasy football. Fantasy football definitely brings out, I think, an interesting side to all fans, right? Because the thing is, I think it's great in the sense where, let's say you follow Arsenal and you only watch Arsenal. If you're on FPL, because you will have a player from West Ham or you'll have a player from Wolves or other teams, you're then going to keep an eye on those games. So it's a great way to for the Premier League to get people into more football and more eyes on different games. So that's definitely one thing. But it's funny because you're like, it was Man United on the weekend, and then you're sitting there, you're thinking, right, I don't want Man City to win, but I need Haaland to score. So you're sitting there thinking, right, if this was a 4-4 draw, that would be perfect, because then City would draw, but then Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, and Foden, all of these would get all of these points. And you're trying to think up of these crazy scenarios where you can get the points on your FPL, but then the teams don't win, and then you're happy as a football fan. So it's quite funny when you look at it like that, because even then, when you've got like Arsenal players going up against like, I don't know, a Liverpool side, you're like, and you've got Liverpool players and Arsenal players in your team, you're like, right, okay, well, I hope it's like 5-3 to Arsenal. We win, but we've got loads of points. So
yeah, I don't know. I think
so. Anyway,
I think FPL's harder. I think definitely it gets harder as time goes on because there's injuries which obviously I would not know about. So then like a lot of good players will be out, or you'll have just brought a player in and then he's out for like, I don't know, 2 months. And I know obviously that's kind of like how the game goes and all of that. But honestly, when I tell you guys, I will transfer someone in, I'll spend my points getting them in, and then they'll do nothing for 2 weeks. And then I've like spent my points, and then I'll hold out my hopes, and then nothing's happening. No goals are being scored, goals being let in, whatever. Anyway, then as soon as I transfer them out, they're doing great. And then they're too expensive to buy back in. And then they've not done anything for me. And then what have I wasted? Points. The gap between me and Hassan's getting bigger. But I don't know. Every now and then you have a good week and it like reels you back in, because honestly on those bad weeks I've definitely said I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to do it. It's not fun. I'm not enjoying it. And then I'll have a good week and then it'll just reel me back in. Addictive. Dangerous.
So there's 40 points between us?
Yeah.
I'm 40 points ahead?
Yeah.
Do you think you can make it back?
I'm catching you up, definitely, yeah.
You just had a good game week.
Yeah,
so
I had a really good game week last week. So I managed to gain back, but the problem is our teams are very similar. I think like there's not
a big enough difference.
And I don't take a lot of risks, whereas I actually think the people that take risks, they're the ones that like jump ahead. Or people you'll look at their team, like even the guys in our league, like I'll look at the teams and I'll be like, ooh, bit weird. But the problem is I follow all of the tips on TikTok and on Twitter, and then I even look at the FPL tips, and even then sometimes it doesn't work out. What can you do? What else can you do? It's so hard. It's hard. I think it's harder than I thought. But also I thought after a point I would just like not be bothered, but then I've continued to be bothered.
But you know why? I think one, I've had an awful year myself on FPL. And I think the reason why you've been invested even this far is because of how close it is. Because 40 points isn't a lot. Because think about it, you've gained just over 10 points on me this last game week, right? And there's 10 game weeks to go. So if you do that again 4 times, you're going to overtake me. So do you see what I mean? And it only needs to happen 4 times out of 10. And again, our teams are similar, but there are differentials. So if your differentials come through, then you've won, basically.
Well, I think when I see you getting panicked, then maybe I'll know that I'm gaining on you. But I don't think you're panicking yet. You were panicking last week.
I was panicking when you were ahead of me. There was a point where someone was ahead of me, and that's when I was like, right, okay, I need to stop messing about now because this is not a joke. So that's
FPL, but I don't know. So basically, guys, if you've got any FPL tips,
message us.
Because obviously,
don't message me.
Well, Hassan will see them, but I don't know. Send them in, or if you've got any FPL stories or like any specific people you follow who actually give good tips, then send them in. Let me know. Anything you can do to get me ahead of Hassan. I want your backing. So any help.
You can try.
Don't be so cheeky. I can get you, I think.
Would you... Okay, here's another question. If you win, or even if you lose, would you do it again next year?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
With the same agreement in place?
I think...
Do you actually care?
The agreement is motivation. I think I do care because I've enjoyed it when I've done well, but I think when it's like, when you've had 3 weeks and you're doing badly, then it's demotivating, which is silly because it is just a game. I don't know, maybe. Well, maybe I'll be better next year. If I knew I could come back and be better, then I'd do it.
Well, no, I think you would be better next year because you would know what you're doing, right? Because like even now you're still understanding about like transfers and the values of players and when they go up and when to sell them. There's all of that side of things, right?
Yeah, I didn't know player value could go up, so that was a shock to me. I think also there were definitely 6 weeks where I was just doing as many transfers as I wanted and I didn't know I was spending points. I think I just didn't even read because it actually tells you before you confirm the transfers how many points you spent. I don't even think I was reading it. I was just like, confirm.
Yeah, no, because I think it was either my brother or even myself who was like, you shouldn't do that.
I think he said he was like,
Because I think, because
you're spending a lot of
because
points.
my brother plays FPL and he's really good because he's actually higher than me at the moment, which, by the way, I will catch him up. That is my mission. So if someone's trying to catch me, I'm trying to catch my brother. But he's got like this philosophy where it's all about how many points you spend, and he like will really, really do anything not to spend points because he feels like in the long run, spending the points doesn't help. But I don't know, because I will spend the points if I need to, because I just feel like you've just got to have the informed players in, and you to do that, if you've got to spend points, you've got to spend points. So I don't know. It's interesting. There's loads of different, I guess, tactics to it, but we have 10 games to go. We will update the people on the progress and how things are going.
Yeah.
And you can rant, and I don't know, maybe someone can help. Maybe there's a viewer out there or a listener out there who can offer you some tips.
Yeah, I always said that I didn't want to talk about FPL on anywhere really, because I don't want to be cancelled by football fans. That's actually I'm scared about that.
Why?
Definitely because I've ranted and just said like, oh my God, players are not doing their jobs, so I'm not getting points. But I mean, obviously
I can't remember what you said.
It was said
so
in the heat of the
funny.
moment, and I think I actually just said, listen, I will get football fans will come for me. So
I think we were sitting
I think
somewhere.
I'll read it in every now and then.
I
but
can't
yeah,
remember. I can't. I wish I could remember what play it was, but we were sitting somewhere, and this player's not scored or assisted. I think they just did nothing in that game, and I think even they got a yellow card, so they even lost points, right? And then all of a sudden, someone just goes, "Why don't these guys just do their job? They just need to. What is wrong with them? They just all they've got to do is just come in and score some goals, get some assists. Why can't they just do their job?" And she's like ranting, and honestly, me and my brother were dying of laughter. We found it so funny, and we were actually saying you should just put this on TikTok, like record this and put it on TikTok, because someone will come and help you. But then she was like, no, like, yeah, then you got worried about the football fans. But forget football Twitter, man. We're here, we're having a good time. That's all that matters.
Okay, fine.
So, moving on. We are 3 months into the year.
Yeah.
We're 3 months into the year. This is obviously a little bit late, but we thought we would talk about, I guess, our mindset going into 2024.
Well, I think it's more like
a little bit of like maybe some of the stuff we want to do this year, some of the stuff that we're trying to do this year, and obviously we've mentioned that we're going into our 30s, so maybe some of the stuff we want to do before we turn 30. So one thing, like, we saw this on TikTok, and we actually did do this. So before the new year, what we did is we had like a planning session. So we've seen it on TikTok, this couple, what they do every December, they sit down and they go through, they evaluate how they did in the last year, and then they plan the next year. Right? Would you say that's the way?
Yeah, I think it was like what they've done in the last year, and then they'd split things into like goals, like traveling, hobbies, whatever they want to do, and then basically you can plan, and then from your plan, then that's how you make your vision board. I mean, I guess it's just the same as like if you were making a vision board for yourself, then obviously you're writing down your goals, your whatever you want to do for that year. But yeah, so that's kind of like what we did. And it wasn't really specifically like knowing that we're going into our 30s. I think it was more just like what had we really enjoyed, and like what did we want to like really just make sure we made like time for, and yeah, where did we want to go?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was just, I think a lot of it was, I think a lot of the idea or the concept is that you look back and because sometimes you don't look back. I think that's one thing people don't do. They don't realize either how much they've achieved or how far they've come or what they've done. So I think that was a really cool concept, because they do look back, but then they also like look forward and kind of focus on the goals for the next year. And so we actually done that. We sat down together. We done a lot of planning. And then so we thought we'd share some of like, I don't know, some of the hobbies we want to start. I mean, this podcast is one of them. That was one thing we definitely wanted to do this year. We wanted to start a podcast, and here we are. And then, what else? Traveling. So we went to a friend's wedding last September, and when the bride's father done their speech, they mentioned how I think he himself had traveled to like 52 countries, and basically how the bride, after their honeymoon, she would have hit 30 countries, and she would have done that before 30. Now, 30 before 30 is something that I've sort of like heard of. I guess a lot of people have heard of it, I would assume, but it's the idea is you travel to 30 countries before you turn 30. I am very fortunate to be very close to that. Summer is a little bit far off, but I've made it a bit of a mission for myself to try and get Summer to 30 before she turns 30. I think we're doing all right. We're heading there. We've ticked off quite a few
I think
recently.
We're very good at finding, like, honestly, anytime we know that there's a bit of free time that we've got, then we'll be straight on Skyscanner looking for flights, and we've managed to find just bargains, but the perfect amount of time, and we've managed to just do so much, just even with that. And
the thing is, we've done well. I think we've actually
we've gone and enjoyed as well. It hasn't just been like, oh, okay, we're there for the day, and we've just come back.
No, definitely. I mean, like, we did. So I would say our most recent ones, we went to Stockholm in December. Then we did Copenhagen and Dublin in Jan, and then recently we've just done Austria and Slovakia. So Austria and Slovakia was one trip. So a little travel hack is that Slovakia, so Bratislava, their capital city, is actually a 1 hour train from Vienna. So it's really easy. So like if you are trying to do a travel, like, I don't know, traveling to as many countries as you can kind of thing, or you want to try and get your countries ticked off, that is definitely a cool little
and there are loads of hacks, because I think actually when we were looking, we were like, oh, like, where are some countries, because I think you just kind of forget like which countries are close to each other and how easy it is to just hop across, basically.
Because
so like I think
Belgium, Holland and Luxembourg, they're all really close.
Okay.
So I think you could literally do, if we could fly, like, to say, for example, Amsterdam, and then I think you can catch a train from Amsterdam to Belgium. It's like not a long train. And I do also think Luxembourg and Belgium are quite close as well.
Well, I guess that's why they have, the interrailing pass. Like, basically, if you're not going to interrail, because I think, now, like, realistically, I probably wouldn't take 2 weeks off work or something to then go and interrail. So then just being able to do these trips where you can just go for a day or just go for a day trip, or 2 or 3 days. It's just perfect. Well, for Vienna, we went to Vienna for 3 days total, and then one of those days we got a train to Bratislava, and we were there in Bratislava for the day, and it was actually really nice. I think Slovakia is definitely a place I would have never have seen myself going to. Not for any reason, but I genuinely just think, it really, really surprised us.
The thing is, it was definitely a big surprise. I actually think it was the best part of the trip overall. But you know what? It's really interesting, because the thing is, look, we went to Copenhagen and loved it, but also kind of like hated it a little bit as well. But the reason why I wasn't a massive fan was because it was -8 degrees.
Yeah, we did go at the coldest.
Baltic. It was like their coldest. No, it wasn't. It was like the coldest weather they'd had in like decades or something.
I think a really long time. The other thing is we went kind of just after New Year, so it was the second week of Jan. I think around that time in Copenhagen, the vibes are very chill, because they've just had Christmas.
I don't know. I don't think the vibe. I don't think the vibe was bad. I think it was just the weather.
No, but I don't think the vibe was bad either. But I think it was just. I think also then because of the weather, it was like a lot.
Yeah, maybe definitely
because of that.
No, 100%. But I would. But the thing is, like, so I've gone there. I did have a great time. It was really, really cold, which was off-putting. But I can sort of take that context and be like, right, I'm not going to write that place off and say that place was...
No, because Copenhagen was lovely. I would actually love to go back.
I really, really liked it. Like, best kebab I've ever had in my life.
But the other thing is, honestly, Copenhagen, I think... So we'd been to Stockholm in December, and Stockholm when we went was freezing. Really, really cold, snowy, stunning, gorgeous. Literally came back and we just wanted to move there, so absolutely loved it. And I think then we went to Copenhagen, and Copenhagen was cold, but I think we thought, right, we've done Stockholm now, so we'll be fine. Tried to do up fashion and wore our really nice light coats. I didn't take my huge big puffer coat. Just by chance, I took 2 scarves. I wore 1 scarf and I took a cream pashmina, which actually I've never worn. And Hassan was wearing it the whole trip under his hoodie.
I wore it as a headscarf.
Wrapped it around.
I literally had to wear it as a headscarf.
And his ears, and yeah, I mean, I'm really glad it came in handy.
No, honestly, it did. I probably would have frozen. I would have turned into an icicle.
Softest,
thanks for saving
loveliest scarf in the world, and yeah, I'm really glad it came to good use. Yeah.
No, honestly,
hilarious.
No, it was. No, I completely forgot about that. So yeah, you're right. We thought we'll do up fashion. I wore a nice coat which wasn't a zip up, doesn't have pockets, doesn't have a hood, and yeah, I live to regret it. It was such an awful decision clothes wise. But I think it was only because we'd done Stockholm, and Stockholm was but the thing is, Stockholm was like -1, -2.
No, I think Stockholm was minus. I think
it didn't, because it went over. It went positive on one of the days.
It did. And the other thing is, because we were wrapped up warm, I don't think we were cold, but I think we were like cold but wrapped up warm.
Yeah, because that time I took I have like this sleeping bag jacket, which is just like a long coat, but it looks like a sleeping bag, and I had like my duvet coat. So we were just a lot better prepared. We were a lot more well prepared, but the weather was better, and then so what we thought was. So then we've gone less prepared in worse weather, and that's why we suffered.
Where we fell down.
That's why we suffered.
Copenhagen was lovely,
anyway, so the point what I was going to say is that even though like Copenhagen was a bit 50-50 because of the weather, I would still love to go back. And so when it came to Vienna, I didn't love Vienna like that, but there were parts of Vienna I did love. But I don't know if it was because of the time of year we went, because when I tell you the whole city was under construction, and I don't know if it was just the time of year for that, but if we were going to go, if I would love to go again, I'd love to see what it's like during Christmas.
It was honestly, I've never seen...
Or even summertime with the flowers and everything.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, or the palaces. We went to palaces, and I was so upset because the palaces are supposed to have these amazing gardens, and all the gardens just soil everywhere because they haven't planted the flowers yet, or they're waiting the seeds have been planted but they're waiting to grow them. So but just in general, the whole city is so stunning. Architecture, the buildings, they put us to shame. They really do. Like, we've got
there is. It was. I don't know.
Stunning.
Was it?
It's so stunning.
Was it really colourful though? It was kind of grey.
Yeah, but I don't think it was necessarily colourful. I think it was just I don't know, the statues, the intricacies, I don't know. Yeah, no,
I think the architecture was really
hard to get around. Cool. I think that's what we'd said. I think that's what you'd said was like your main bugbear.
Yeah.
Just was that in terms of like we've been to Milan and Barcelona. We live in London, so you've got TfL, and TfL comes with its own, hiccups.
Its own baggage.
Then, we've been there, and then we went to Stockholm, Copenhagen, found it really easy to get around.
But the thing is, I don't know. I don't know if it was a construction, because I was speaking to one of my friends, and he said it was really easy to go around. So I don't know. So then, like I said, but the thing is, like I said, I would go again and experience it. But Bratislava was amazing.
Oh, loved it.
Bratislava was really nice. Honestly speaking, and there's really not a lot to do there. We were done in like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Well, it was because in the old town, maybe, but because we actually went specifically just so we could like spend some time in the old town, because the old town is the bit that, on TikTok and stuff, people just talk about it, and it's the best area of it, because actually the whole of the rest of Bratislava looks like it's a proper city. Like, they have all their big banks and skyscrapers and businesses, and there were definitely people like going to work that day, and we were like arriving from Vienna like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, to then go and explore Bratislava. And Bratislava's got this old town, and they've got a castle, and like just all around that area is all the old town is gorgeous. It's so quaint and it's so cute, and the people are lovely, and I really enjoyed it. I think that was a nice day just because we just mooched around and had a nice time.
It was. I don't know.
I think the rest of Vienna, we were definitely...
Do you know what
I just love a packed itinerary, so I think the packed itinerary
I think also another thing with Vienna, I think we kind of underestimated how big everything was. Because, remember when we were planning Sweden, right? And we were planning where to go when we went to Sweden. There was like this place, this place, this place. And we were looking on the map and thinking, oh my God, this is really far. But then when we got there and we were on the trains and stuff, everything was so close. And we were like, oh my God, this is amazing. Whereas I feel like with Vienna, maybe we didn't look so much at the map and what it looked like and how far it was. But when we got there, I think to get to places like your 30 minutes travel to get to some, to get to pretty much every place. So I think it was just bigger as well in general. But yeah, like I said, I would still rate it. Just wasn't my
I don't think it was your favourite trip.
But I would go again to see it again, just like with Copenhagen. Wouldn't sit high up on the list, but I would go again to try it again, if that makes sense.
I think in the summer, Copenhagen is meant to be
the summer, even even during Christmas, I'm sure it'd be amazing over Christmas. Yeah. So traveling is a big thing that we wanted to do.
Definitely this year. I think we said we just wanted to. I mean, it is obviously it's 30 before 30 for me, which is really nice, and I think it's really cute that you're trying to get me there. But I think traveling is just. It's just one of the best things that you can do together because sounds so cheesy, but you're making the memories and you're like going and doing new stuff and seeing new places, and honestly I feel like just traveling the world is what life's all about. So
no, I think so, definitely. And I think even nice. I always say, I mean, this is going to sound really cheesy, but I always talk about it like, when we're sitting, in a really cute cafe in, Bratislava or Copenhagen or wherever, and I'm like, can you imagine when we have grandkids, we can tell them about our little travels and we can show them our little pictures and stuff, and I think that kind of stuff is really cool.
I think because
I think we're so fortunate.
Well.
Yeah, we're
when they went traveling when they were younger and they show us their old holiday snaps and stuff, and you think oh, they were really cool, or they look really cute, or they look really in love, and I think that's
exactly 100%, and we're just fortunate to be able to do it, and I think we just gotta we're working hard and we're trying to get through it. So that's definitely like I said, travel, big thing for this year. What we're trying to do, hobbies.
Do you want to talk about golf? The love of your life, the second love of your life.
So, yes, I mean...
I don't know, third. Is it after Arsenal or is it before Arsenal?
Oh, definitely after Arsenal. I think it's after food as well, so it's probably quite far down.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, this year I have decided to take up golf. Mm-hmm. I'm very fortunate. I've got one of my closest friends who's also wanting to take it up. Mm-hmm. And so we've been practicing. Obviously, it's winter, so that we can't really go onto golf courses and stuff. So what we've done is we've started at driving ranges. And we're learning and we're self-teaching at the moment, but the progress is there.
Yeah.
The progress is there. I think, I like to say, I think I hit things straight, but with not enough distance just yet.
Okay.
So I think that's what I'm trying to do. I need to nail my distance on my drives, but everything is kind of going straight right now. My accuracy on my chip kind of shots, like the shorter ones, doing really well with those. So yeah, I think I'm moving in the right direction. It is fun. It's something where I found it very sort of therapeutic to go and kind of just do, and you take your time out of all of the chaos, and you can kind of just go and relax and hit a few golf balls and have a good time. And I think I am looking forward to definitely getting on an actual course and playing properly. But yeah, that is something fun that I have done.
I'm going to take dance back up.
That's on your agenda, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on my agenda. Just haven't really figured out exactly where and when. But my plan was always to go to a studio on my way home from work, because it's probably the best kind of way to do it, because I have a really long commute home, so it'd just be nice to break it up and go back to it, because I danced all the way through school and through uni, and I really miss it. And I think life can't just all be about work.
No, for sure. I think once you find the right class, I think that would be really cool, because then I think it's something that you can definitely do. We have spoken about playing either badminton or paddle as well. So that is something I think we will pick up as well. But I think what it is, I think it's just about doing stuff that's active, and I think, I don't know, just being, I think what it is, these past few months, stumbling over my words loads. What I think it is, this year is about doing stuff. I think last year we had loads of ideas about things we wanted to do, and we would put it off, or we would say, maybe next month or whatever. Whereas I think this year we're very much taking it by the scruff of the neck and saying, right, we're doing this. And so badminton's one. Languages.
Yeah, languages. Do you want to test your French?
No, not yet.
No?
Not yet.
No words?
Why? Don't do that.
Nothing.
Don't do that. Why have you done this?
We actually said, so Hassan's learning French.
Well, no. I started on Duolingo, which isn't really learning, I don't think. But it's, I guess, practice.
I think it's a good start.
It's a good starting point.
A really good place to start.
I started really well. I was doing good, and then I fell off.
And then...
No, but the thing is, I started before the new year, so I was trying to like do it going into the new year, and then I've fallen off and I've not picked it back up. But it's something I definitely want to do. I want to try and find a tutor as well, so I can actually get proper lessons. And I don't know, I've picked French. I might change because I feel like maybe Spanish might be better, considering I did Spanish GCSE.
Maybe, yeah.
But I don't know.
Probably mostly because you know already some of the words. Whereas definitely I did Spanish as well. So if I went back to Spanish, I'd probably be better at it than...
But the reason why I think French would be cool for me to learn is because we like the idea of going skiing. And a lot of the skiing places are French-speaking sort of places. Also, I'm not going to lie. So Summer has a friend who's also my friend now. And she's married a French man. I was going to say a French person. Yeah, she's married a Frenchman who can speak French. And you know what? I think it would be so cool if we rocked up to dinner with them one time and I just started busting out French. It would be really cool.
I'm sure it would, yeah.
You know what? Maybe
humour you as well. He's a really sweet guy, so he'd be patient. And I think when you're a beginner, that's what you need, is someone who's not just going to...
He might laugh at me, which I don't mind.
I don't think he might laugh.
I wouldn't mind.
But it's fine.
But I think he'd also be impressed.
Yeah, and it's the effort, I think. I think whenever you go somewhere, I think it's that classic thing of like British people just expect everywhere you go to just be able to speak English, whereas actually I think people... So
that's something we're definitely doing for this year. What about I can't remember. You started Arabic.
Yeah, so I started Arabic and I was doing very well. I think I was doing very well, and now I can't remember any of the words. I think I can remember one word, which means generous. Other than that, can't remember anything. But I think I'll get back onto it. I think it just wasn't top of my list in terms of like things to do. Like I'd rather like read more, listen to some more podcasts, learn more. I feel like I'm losing knowledge, so I think it would be nice to recharge my brain, I think.
So you're going to restart?
Yeah, I'll probably restart at some point.
Would you get a tutor?
Maybe, yeah. I think I would go a bit further in Duolingo first, I think, to just have a bit more of a grasp on words and sounds, and like my grammar's not great, so maybe that. But yeah, I think a tutor would be good to learn how to actually make conversation. If you don't have someone speaking it with you at home, I think that's where you can get it.
No, definitely. But then I think, do you know what? Maybe we need to push ourselves even more, and we both do French and we both do Arabic. And then that way we can speak it to each other. So I think that would be amazing, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think that's everything for our very first episode.
I think we'll wrap it up.
I think that would be as much as we can kind of do today. I mean, it's the first episode. We've chewed your ear off now for probably about 50 minutes. Mm-hmm. Thank you guys for listening. If you've made it this far. I've hoped you've enjoyed our very first podcast.
Hopefully you'll be back for another one. And yeah,
please send in dilemmas, any dating stories,
any hilarious stories,
any advice, anything that you
want us to talk about. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to answer. And
we will keep it anonymous, so you don't have to worry about that. Definitely. Stay plugged in, I guess, to our Instagram, which is the Summer Lovin Podcast. Mm-hmm. Stay plugged into that. We'll obviously have all the links and stuff in the description, but definitely subscribe on YouTube, follow our podcast on Spotify, and leave us a 5-star rating. And
we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.